Hello there, you're welcome to another edition of editorials, a broadcast from Canada. My name is Sandra Asante. Today, we'll be drawing concerns on Ethiopia's Lifeline road for millions being blocked. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back after the break. You're welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for staying with me. So afar in Ethiopia, the road that is 300 mile strip of tarmac that passes through some of the most inhospitable terrain on the earth is the only way into the conflict-torn region where millions of Ethiopians face the threats of mass starvation. But it is a fragile lifeline fraught with dangers that have made the route barely passable for aid convoys trying to get humanitarian supplies into the Tigray region, where local fighters have been battling the Ethiopian army for 8 months. Aid workers said the main obstacle is an unofficial Ethiopian government blockade enforced using tactics of obstruction and intimidation that has effectively cut off the road and exacerbated what some call the world's worst humanitarian crisis in a decade. A relief convoy headed for Tigray came under fire on the road on July 18th, forcing it to turn around. In the past month, just a single United Nations aid convoy of 50 trucks has managed to travel this route. The UN says it needs twice as many trucks traveling every day to stave off catastrophic shortages of food and medicine inside Tigray. Yet, nothing is moving. On Tuesday, the World Food Programme said 170 trucks loaded with relief aid were stranded in Asmara, the capital of neighboring Afar region, waiting for Ethiopian permission to make the desert journey into Tigray. These trucks must be allowed to move now, the agency director David Beasley wrote on Twitter. People are starving. The crisis also comes against the backdrop of the intensifying war that is spilling out of Tigray into other regions, depending and also deepening ethnic tensions and stoking fears that Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous nation, is tearing itself apart. Inside Tigray, the needs are very dire and rapidly rising. The United Nations estimates that 400,000 people that are living in famine-like conditions and another 4.8 million need urgent help. Ethiopian and allied Eritrea soldiers have stolen grains, burned crops, and destroyed agricultural tools, according to both aid groups and local witnesses interviewed by the New York Times. This has caused many farmers to miss the planting season, setting in motion a food crisis that is expected to peak when the harvest fails in September. The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who won the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize, said last week that his government, it was a claim actually that he's claiming this one, that his government was providing unfettered humanitarian access and committed to the safe delivery of critical supplies to its people in the Tigray region. This is a fallacy, we all know that. But Mr. Abiy's minister have publicly accused aid workers of helping and even arming the Tigray fighters, drawing a robust denial from one UN agency. And a senior aid official speaking on the condition of anonymity to avoid jeopardizing their operation said the government's state commitment to enable aid deliveries was belied by its actions on the ground. Aid workers have been harassed at airports or in the case of a World Food Programme official last weekend. have died inside Tigray for want of immediate medical care. Bileni Soyom Wardiyes, a spokeswoman for Mr. Abiy, said federal forces had already left behind 40,000 tons of wheat and 2.5 million liters of edible oil that they withdrew from Tigray in June. Any hurdles to humanitarian access were being closely monitored by the government. That is what she is claiming. But on the grounds, vital supplies are rapidly running out, not just food and medicine, but also the fuel and cash needed to distribute emergency aid. Many aid agencies have begun to scale back their operations in Tigray, citing the impossible working conditions. Mr. Beasley said the World Food Program will start to run out of food on Friday. Fighting is raging along what had once been the main highway into Tigray, forcing aid group to turn into the only alternative, the remote road connecting Tigray to Afar that runs across the stark landscape of burning temperatures. When I traveled the route on July 4th, the war in Tigray had just dramatically reversed direction. Days earlier, Tigrayan fighters had marched into the regional capital Mekelle hours after beleaguered Ethiopian soldiers quit the city. The city airport was shut, so the only way out of the Tigray was on slow-moving UN convoy that took the same desolate route out as the fleeing Ethiopian soldiers. We drove down a rocky escarpment of the road scared by tank tracks. As we descended into the plains of Afar, the temperature quickly rose. The road skirted the western edge of the Danakil Depression, a vast area that sat below the sea level with an active volcano, that saltiest lake on Earth, and the serial rock formation in a vivid color that are frequently likened to otherworldly landscape. So we just hope this blocking wouldn't cause more problems in Tigray. But this is where I draw the curtains on editorials. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sandra Asante. Have a beautiful day.